You are watching Fight Feed, and I'm going to be going through my UFC pick tracker that has my picks for all these UFC fights, MMA Guru's picks, MMA Joey's picks, and Lucas Tracy. I'm also going to do my best to add other creators as you guys comment and let me know who you want to see. But for this card, I just have the four of us, and guys, I'm kind of frustrated because there were a couple fights that I had a certain fighter pick that the others didn't, where I actually got the win, and I felt like, hey, I might actually catch up here. But to give you guys the lowdown, just so you can see where things stand, and sorry, I'm scrolling up here. So taking a look at current percentage correct, basically, just as you saw in my previous video, I am tracking, this is like a cumulative tracker, right? So the percentage correct is based off of the last week's fight card and then this week's fight card. So as you can see, I've got 52% correct, which is not very good. Guru and Joey end up tying at 72%. So they are both tied at this point. And I will say, going through the fight card today, Guru had a leg up, but Joey had a couple picks that saved his ass and brought him right back in neck and neck with Guru. And then Lucas Tracy is just above me at 56%. It was a tough night for us, buddy. And so what I'm going to say here is ultimately, I think that I need to do better in my picks. I think sometimes I pick the fighters that I want to win, and I have like this vision of them having this spectacular performance, and I need to be a bit more realistic. And I will say in this fight card, the thing that I picked, the one fight that I picked that the others did not pick, where I was very happy, was very like, fuck yeah, Osborne. I chose Ode Osborne to win the fight against Garule, and it happened. So I was very happy about that. Where MMA Joey had a really good pick was the Sabatini pick. He was the only one to pick Sabatini, and then Sabatini went out there and he made Brito look like he didn't belong in that cage with him. So Joey had a really good pick there. And ultimately, as you can see, our current tracker has us at 52% for me, so I'm in the fucking last place. We got Lucas Tracy at 56%, Guru and Joey at 72%. I'm not that butthurt about it because I started watching MMA in 2019, but I was not a casual MMA watcher in 2019. Like, I started watching UFC 239, John Jones versus Santos. That's like the first card I purchased, and that's actually when I started watching kind of religiously, watching kind of every week. But I was not doing the stuff that these guys have been doing, where they're very analytical and looking at the different fights, making their picks. Like, that's something that I've gone through cards and in my head been like, oh, I think this person. And I've had success in the past making parlays for my girlfriend. Like actually the Miami card last year, she won a pretty big parlay, and it was like a 12-leg parlay. I picked Poirier, Curtis Blades, some big fights on that one that I was pretty proud of. But these guys are clearly, showing me up a bit here, and I've just got to catch up. But ultimately, this has been a fun moment for me to just track what they're doing, because it makes it a bit more competitive for me to want to do even more research and add more to the content, which I think is going to help you guys as well from an entertainment standpoint. But also, if you're even watching these videos to try to get a gauge on how you might pick fights or build parlays, then you can kind of get a taste of what they're doing. So something that I didn't do in the last card that I'm going to do on this one is just kind of go through each of these fights with you guys and just outline, where we all made perhaps a bad decision or who had a good decision. So going through the fight card, Demopoulos, we all chose wrong here, and this was pretty dumb of all of us, I guess. But like I said, hindsight is 2020. Demopoulos got fucking schooled. Next fight on the card, you had me, Guru, Tracy all chose Henry. Joey chose Falco. It didn't go Falco's way. Henry got the win. I had a feeling he would. Next fight on the card, we all choose Lubumi. And then here's a big fucking mistake on my part. I'm the only idiot that chose Belpita, and the rest of the guys had Barbosa. So good on them. this is a moment where it's like, I watched those fights. I should have maybe been able to deduce that Barbosa would have a bit of a size advantage. She just looked a lot bigger, but she was just way more skilled too. And this is like the if you watch my recap video of this, I had said too, knowing that if I would have known Barbosa is like a steady user of the UFC Apex, where she's been training and getting access to all the facilities they have, that might have swayed me. So it is what it is, though. The next fight on the card, we got McKee, and I think this is one where Tracy made a bad decision here. I chose McKee, Guru chose McKee, and so did Joey, and Lucas got Frunza on that one, unfortunately. Great fight, though, and McKee looked great. He knocked him down 4 times. It was almost like a UFC 5 round 1 where, you get fucking 4 knockdowns. It's nuts. Next fight on the card. This is the one that I was giving myself a little bit of credit for. I chose Osborne. I thought that he would have better striking and ultimately be able to find a kill shot. The rest of the guys chose Garule. So I will say, when this happened, I was fucking ecstatic because I'm like, shit, I might actually catch up to these boys. But, I'll get to what I had later. Next fight on the card, we all chose Finney. Not a great performance. He definitely won the fight. Like I said in my recap video, the judge that said, what's his fucking name? Valentin should win the fight. That's just absolutely like bonkers. I don't know what fight he was watching. I think he might have been streaming some boxing fights like Dana White. Yeah, I don't know what the fuck he was watching. We all chose Finney, so good on us. Next fight on the card, Tavares versus Mearshart. Tavares looked great in this fight, but like I said in my recap, I thought that Mearshart made it a bit more of a competitive fight than I think anybody could have imagined. He's a very scrappy veteran, 55 fights under his belt. A lot of respect for Mearshart, and I still want to see him fight. But we all chose Tavares. I think we all felt that power from Tavares, striking-wise, but I think also just knowing the level of fighters that he is training with on a daily basis, also having the genius mind of Eric Nixick in his corner. I just felt Tavares was going to be able to put it together and get the W, and that's what happened. So yeah, next fight on the card, the 4 of us also chose Lee to win. But I do think that Cortavius, as I said in my recap, he made a good showing of himself, although he lost. And I think where he made a good showing of himself is obviously there were gaps in his technical skills, but he has that dog in him and he has that fighter inside of him. And so I hope he doesn't lose hope on this one, because I feel like he should get another chance to go out there and prove himself. I know he missed weight, but dude, he made a great showing of himself. I love to see a guy who goes out there and has heart, and he has that. So I hope that he's able to, maybe get a couple more fights in the UFC. And I also think that he made it scrappy in some of those striking exchanges. He landed some strikes. He was able to reverse out of some of those grappling positions as well. And I think, as Dominic Cruz said, like, he just might not have the technical ability to get out of some of those positions. But the fact that he was able to strength his way out just shows that he has that grit and determination that you can't really train. You have to just have that. And he has that. So in my eyes, he should be able to clean up parts of his game and get better in those areas that maybe he might have been lacking skill in, and have better performances in the future. Next fight on the card. So this one is where we got to give Joey some props. Joey is from the videos and content I've seen of his, he definitely I think is more of a grappling heavy fan. Like, he likes grappling. He made a great decision here, because Sabatini went out there and he schooled Brito in the ground game. Like, he took him to school. Brito did a good job defending a lot of the submission attempts, but ultimately Sabatini, like I said, he made it look like Brito didn't belong out there with him. So I think that Joey had a great pick there. And yeah, I mean, it's that typical striker versus grappler matchup. And in this case, Sabatini proved that grappling is the premier skill set in that matchup. And the final fight on the card, this is another one where I made a dumb mistake. So I picked Emmett thinking that, I've seen Lerone Murphy have such close decisions, and also seeing his fight against Barbosa, which I had rewatched and I thought he looked great in, but he got caught a bit too much for my liking. And I was worried about that with Emmett, because you can't get caught like that when you're fighting Josh Emmett. But Murphy went out there, and it was a very, very great performance. I think he looked amazing against Emmett and was able to get the win. So I just think that this is a moment where I picked a fighter that I like, and I have to look at it more objectively, and also you have to weigh in those factors of age, which I did weigh, but I thought that Emmett, although Murphy has that great footwork and he's a younger fighter, thought Emmett, he's had that in the past with other fighters where he's still able to land that kill shot. But in this case, Murphy just proved to be too much for him. It was definitely close, but I think Murphy won the fight. I don't think that it's a robbery. I saw people saying it was a tie going into round 5. I disagree with that. I think that Murphy had probably 3-2 overall. No, I think it was probably 4-1. I just don't know. I think that there's, Josh had success throughout the fight. I don't know. Like, as I was watching it, my initial reaction was that I don't think I would have given him any of the rounds, because I feel like even when Josh landed takedowns, Murphy had success splitting him open and landing some good shots on the entries, and then landing shots as he's defending or fending off the takedown. So I just think damage-wise, Murphy won every round, in my opinion. But I also will say I did miss like the tail end of round 4. So I don't know if Emmett was able to land some heavy shots at the end, like the last 2 minutes. But ultimately, I chose Emmett. The guys chose Murphy. And that's what brought us over here to these percentages of, 52% for me, 72% for Guru and Joey, and then 56% for Tracy. Definitely a fun little setup here. It'll be fun to see where we all met out after next week's fight card. Please comment below if you want specific creators added into this. Now, the thing I will call out, I was looking at adding Bedtime MMA, but I think that he does like the bingo card stuff, which is a really fun thing. It's a different thing, and I appreciate that. But I don't know how I'll be able to like pencil that in here unless he is able to do, or he does some videos where he's picking straight predictions similar to what we've been doing. I'll get him added in when he does that. Now, if there's any other creators that you guys want me to add in, please let me know and I'll get them added in here. I do like to watch the Fortune Teller. I think he does some great content. I really like the analysis and digging into all the content and all the different fights that he does. I think that I really like his style too, because I think he's similar to me where, I fuck with all these guys, right? I think that everyone has their own take on things. I do think that Fortune Teller and myself are a bit more respectful to like the fighters, whereas the other guys could be a bit unhinged. I'm sure I'll get there though. I think that there's moments where certain fighters piss me the fuck off, but as of recent, I think just the performances and the different fighters that have been involved, I don't have too much bad to say, but I do think that the other guys definitely have a lot more. They're more outspoken in their feelings. So just let me know if there's any other creators you want me to add into this, and I'll get them added. And I hope that this content is fun for you guys to consume as MMA fans. That is my goal in this, is just to bring more content to this space and make it an entertaining aspect so that you guys find value in it and want to watch it each week. So thank you guys. If you are watching, make sure you subscribe below, give it a like, comment who you want to see next. Thanks again. I will see you soon.